things that I find is very important for me as a teacher is to have a sense of every student. So I think that for me is, as I see them come into class, the first few weeks, is to have kind of an idea of the personality of every student. And what I have found is that sometimes as I look around, I might see a student who usually is very calm and very funny or very happy, and there's something off. So what I do is I tend to send an email and the subject of the email is always checking in. And I say things like, hey, I noticed that you seem tired or sad in class. Is everything is okay? And students tend to reply to that. And based on the reply, I then ask them if they would like to have lunch or coffee with me. And then we go down to the bistro and we talk for a little bit. And what I have found is that sometimes it just needs that one time. But sometimes I discover that with students it's a little bit more. And so I have had students that through the semester I touch base with them maybe once a month. And what ends up happening is that they open up and they talk, and we tend to go over the things that are most agitating to them or the things that they need more mentoring in. But more importantly, I think that models for them being able to pass it forward and do the same thing. But what I remind them is they can't do that if they don't have a sense of of how each one of the students is like. To have a sense that when a student comes in, there's something off about them. So that's one of the strategies that I use in my mentoring.
My scholarship focuses on two areas primarily, and the first is differentiation, which is a fancy word for just talking with teachers about how to make sure their instruction meets the needs of all of the students in the classroom, because there are such varying needs. And our classrooms are growing more and more diverse in terms of what students need to move ahead. So I've done a lot of action research with teachers and partnered with school districts and helped teachers to figure out how to address that diversity. That led to my work with the state in presenting workshops in the different regions of Virginia to try to get everybody on the same page with that, which then led to the opportunity to co-author a white paper with Tanya Moon from the University of Virginia. And that white paper is presented to committee and eventually to the General Assembly, talking about our standards in Virginia and where they fall short and what we need to do to make them better and recommendations for changing those. And we already started with a committee to move that forward. So in regards to differentiation, my scholarship affects teachers at the classroom level. That also completely filters into how I teach my own classes in differentiation and assessment. So it filters in that way, and then it's even filtered in at the policy level at the state, which is really exciting. My second area of research is in language arts, English instructional methods. I teach a class in middle school language arts and have noticed a trend of teachers in that field not necessarily integrating the instruction of reading and writing, doing them as separate units and even separate courses in some school, and they're supposed to be taught together. And so my research has been digging into why that happens and what we need to do as professional development providers, as well as here at the university, to make sure recommended practice does indeed happen. And that, of course, then filters in big ways to how I teach my classes in middle school language arts, as well as how I work with teachers.
So the main service that I've been involved with the past few years through the Virginia Association for Supervision and Curriculum Development. I'm on the board for that organization, and I also edit the journal, which allows me to interact with a lot of new authors around the state, people looking to get published for the first time, and also people who are repeat submitters who I get to work with. So I get to get on the board. I'm on the board for that. I deal with advocacy as well, so I do some work hoping to influence some of the policies in the state of Virginia through that organization. And then the second part to most of my service is through the Association for Supervision and Curriculum Development. And through that organization, I actually do workshops and professional development for teachers both in the state of Virginia and around the country. And so those opportunities really give me a chance to give back and try to influence some of the the practices that take place in schools.
I got into the field of special education really in sort of a roundabout way. I actually was in a PhD program to be an anthropologist and decided that that wasn't a very good match for me. And so I started looking around for what I was going to do next. And my family actually, this is sort of a long story, my family actually adopted my sister when I was 7, she was 10, and she has severe disability. So I found a posting for a job at a private school for children with severe problem behaviors and disabilities. And I took it because I needed a job. And I always say I didn't necessarily get into special education because of my sister, but I think I was good at it because of my sister. Because I grew up around people with severe disabilities, and we figured out how to work with her from a very early age. So that was really it for me. I took that job, I fell in love, and they helped me get my master's degree, and I'm a board certified behavior analyst. So I went through school doing that, and that was pretty much it.